Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. You get it? Oh. You need to test it now, the sound?
Good evening, and welcome to a regular meeting of the East Windsor Regional School District Board of Education. Thanks to everyone for your patience. We were having some technical difficulties live streaming the meeting on YouTube, so I think we're good to go now. So thank you to everyone, and sorry for the delay. And Happy New Year, Happy New School Year. Written advance notice of this meeting was provided at least 48 hours ago. Such notice provided the time, date, and location of this meeting and included the agenda to the extent it was known at the time. Notice of this meeting has been given in accordance with law. Minutes of this meeting are being kept by the board secretary and will be made available promptly to any member of the public requesting them from the board secretary at 25A Leshen Lane, Hightstown, New Jersey. Minutes will be provided at cost and in accordance with board policy. Are there any board members present who believe this meeting to be in violation of the Open Public Meeting Act? There being none, we may proceed. In compliance with the fire code of the state of New Jersey, I call your attention to the emergency exits for this room, which are located in the back and sides. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item C.
Having read the materials received, I move the agenda be approved as submitted.
Second. Any questions? Pull the board, please.
Ms. Drake,
Yes.
Ms. Lance,
Yes?
Ms. Murphy,
Yes.
Mr. Weeks,
Yes.
Ms. Patel,
Yes.
Ms. Salter,
Yes.
Ms. Collier,
Yes.
Ms. LaRusso.
Yes. Item D.
Be it resolved that the East Windsor Regional School District may hold 2 closed sessions at this meeting. These closed sessions concern board strategic goals and personnel. Minutes of these closed sessions will be made available to the public when the need for confidentiality no longer exists.
Second.
Any questions? Pull the board, please.
Ms. Drake,
Yes.
Ms. Lance,
Yes?
Ms. Murphy,
Yes.
Mr. Weeks,
Yes.
Ms. Patel,
Yes.
Ms. Salter,
Yes.
Ms. Collier,
Yes.
Ms. LaRusso.
Yes. So we have no presentations for tonight. So we'll be moving on to student representative report. Do you want to introduce?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sahana Prem Kumar, and this is Sanjeet, and we are thrilled to be your student representatives for the 2024-2025 school year. We are thrilled to have the opportunity to represent the student body here at Hightstown.
Hi, I'm Sanjay Kakarla, and I'm ecstatic to work with you all this year. As I was serving on Student Council, I'm president of the Computer Science Club, president of the Future Business Leaders of America, and a leader of the Mental Health Club at Hightstown.
In terms of involvement outside of Student Council, I currently serve as the president of Hightstown DECA. I'm a Teen Pep peer leader, officer of public relations for the South Asian Club South. I'm also a book ambassador and have been on the golf team since my freshman year. Both myself and Sanjit are again grateful for the opportunity to speak on behalf of the student body, and we're enthusiastic to share everything going on at Hightstown.
And entering school this year, something we all see is a ton of enthusiasm within our student body. There is so much excitement for this year of learning and fun. All of our students are getting acclimated to this high school environment, building relationships with their teachers, and getting to know their classes. As usual, at the beginning of a school year, there is a bit of hallway congestion as students are just gaining familiarity with their schedules and classrooms. Despite the traffic, our school year is off to a good, lively start, and we are excited to see the growth of our students as the year progresses.
Last Friday, town halls or grade-wide assemblies took place in the auditorium. Student council, class council, administration, and counselors were invited to welcome students and provide introductions to who will be serving as their officers and what grade-wide events will occur. Most of what was discussed at the town hall was related to general housekeeping, which included attendance, bathroom procedures, using Naviance, which was especially important for seniors, and also regularly using their email. These town halls were great for introducing students to the new school year, as well as connecting them with people who will be valuable in their high school journey. In terms of welcoming students, we also conducted our freshman orientation on August 28th. This event was definitely a success as it gave us the perfect opportunity to meet the incoming class, bond over dinner, and also get to know one another through activities. With the help of our PGC leaders, we were able to do several icebreaker games, conduct immersive tours of the school, and also answer many of their burning questions about high school. We will surely see them integrate well into the student body throughout the next few months.
Student Council is hard at work planning events such as our Rush Week and Incoming Spirit Week. Rush Week is planned for September 24th to the 26th. Our Student Council is working with all student-led organizations and clubs from across the school to gather interest and membership within various activities. We are led under the guidance of our advisors, Ms. McDougall and Ms. Blanford, who are doing an excellent job assisting us in the planning process. Rush Week always generates excitement and a huge turnout from underclassmen who finally have a chance to get involved and have conversations with school leaders, making the most of their high school experience. This year, our goal is to work to integrate club representation and effectively communicate with our clubs to ensure they are set up effectively for success. We also want to collaborate more with our class councils, Teen Pep, and PGC due to their connection with the student body, including ESL students and freshmen. Student Council will be working hard to ensure our Rush Week is successful at helping clubs gain traction and giving our students an additional community to join. The Student Council is actively planning a Spirit Week that will help our students express their school spirit. Our pep rally is expected to occur on October 18th, and we are excited for facilitating fun games, a hallway decorating contest, and annual lip sync dance competition. Collectively, the Student Council is excited to see student participation that will unite us as Rams.
While everyone is excited to be back and start the year off great, it has been wonderful to see how involved the senior class has been for their final year of high school. Although it is only the third day of school, seniors have been participating in spirit days of, say, wearing elementary school backpacks on the first day of school and also painting their respective parking spots in fun colors and designs. Seniors also kicked off the school year by participating in the senior sunrise on Friday morning. Many students, alongside their friends, came together with blankets and cameras to watch the sunrise right before school. This was definitely a memorable moment for us, and we are thankful for the cafeteria staff who provided the delicious breakfast and our class council for facilitating this event. We are very excited to see what this year holds for us.
Back to School Night is a pivotal opportunity for parents and guardians of students to visit their children's teachers and understand expectations for student learning. We're excited for Back to School Night, which is set to be hosted this Thursday night on September 12th. We are excited to see our student council and school club leaders help assist families in this transition back to a welcoming environment. And also, with the aim of keeping our schools safe and healthy, we are glad to announce that we are in the final stage of having the vape detectors operating.
We would now like to take note of the suggestion box we implemented last year and say that we will continue to be using it this year. This suggestion box is an online Google form that students can use to share their concerns and feedback of how we can improve the school community and student body here at Hightstown. This year, we hope to revamp our suggestion box and stress its importance at the school. This will be done by actively promoting its use on our social media and grade-wide Google Classroom platforms, and even highlight suggestions that have been implemented.
As our year commences, one thing is for sure. When it comes to school spirit, no school can match the Hightstown Herd. Our Hightstown Herd has flocked to support our athletic teams and support our athletes, who work so hard over the summer to prepare for their sports. Our football season has gotten started, and our herd has been showing up in style at our games. We expect to see our amazing cheerleading and marching band performing at our games. Our football team has a major game against Steiner this Friday on September 13th. We expect to continue seeing our herd and student body at this game. Many of our other fall sports such as field hockey, boys soccer, girls volleyball, girls tennis, and gymnastics are into full swing. We wish all of our sports teams and hardworking athletes the best of luck. We know they will accomplish great things this season and represent our school with pride.
As we end on our final note, we'd like to also encourage you all to look at a newsletter initiative Mr. Vinson will be undertaking. As we have many new staff this year, Mr. Vinson will use the newsletter as an opportunity to introduce all the staff to the district with personal biographies. So please be on the lookout for that. This concludes the end of our report. We are so honored and excited to work with all of you and share student voice. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was a great report, and we look forward to working with you and hearing you at all the meetings. Does anybody have any questions? If not, we'll move on to superintendent report.
Okay, good evening, everyone, and welcome to a new school year. So I would like to begin this evening just by thanking Sahana and Sanjeet. I look forward to you being in our meetings, having that student voice throughout the year, and just hearing about the exciting things happening at Hightstown High School. So welcome, and good luck. So I just want to talk a little bit about opening of the school year. So as you all know, we opened school last Thursday. On Tuesday, actually, we welcomed our teachers and educators back to a new year, as it were. And in typical fashion, we kind of have a staff convocation meeting where we gather here at the high school in the auditorium just to kind of springboard the school year. So after being ushered into the high school with music from our marching band, as I said before, we did gather in the auditorium to celebrate the start of a new year. The meeting primarily just focused on, one, just being together, sense of community, kind of just acknowledging folks in the room who had been with us first year through year 35 plus. We also focused on the impact that we will have with our students this year. with the theme of building bridges through empathy, equity, and engagement. And we also reviewed the district's goals for this year. And then obviously on Thursday was the big build-up. We warmly welcomed our students back to school. I'm definitely filled with excitement and optimism about the endless possibilities that we have throughout this year to come. Fortunately, I did have the opportunity to visit all of our kindergarten classrooms on Thursday, first day back, and they really kind of acclimated. Our teachers did an amazing job kind of transitioning them very quickly into the rhythm and climate and culture of the classrooms. Kindergarten's a special time. I mean, those are our newest learners who are beginning their educational journey. It's a special experience, and we are looking forward to that level of curiosity that's encouraged, the friendships that will be developed, and just kind of cultivating a love of learning. In terms of us starting the school year, I do want to begin with some thank yous. Obviously, I need to thank our heroic teachers for their passion and dedication that they bring to the classroom each day. They're the heartbeat of our schools, and their commitment to creating a supportive and engaging learning environment is what truly makes our district so special for children. I also want to extend some heartfelt thanks to our bus drivers. I always like to give our bus drivers a shout out. We are a uniquely structured school district where we have our own fleet of buses and we have our own drivers. We're probably we are the only district in Mercer County that has such a large fleet, and we do not have to engage in subcontracting with other bus companies. So I do think that's something that you don't really appreciate until you don't have it. So I do want to thank our bus drivers who safely transport our students to school every day and ensuring that they begin and end the day with hopefully a friendly smile. I also just want to thank our custodians, obviously, for preparing our buildings, and also our maintenance department, keeping our buildings clean. They look great in terms of the first day of school. Oftentimes their work goes unseen, but it's critical to the success of our school community. I also want to thank our staff, our summer staff, and our administrators who worked during July, August in terms of getting things prepared. Their efforts in planning, coordinating, orienting new staff, writing curriculum, but also preserving our schools and maintaining our schools enabled us to open those doors on Thursday with a real sense of confidence and enthusiasm. So look, this year we look forward to continuing to build those bridges and strengthening those connections to ensure every student feels seen, supported, and inspired to reach their full potential. So I do wish everyone a very safe and successful year ahead. Just a couple of notes here just to conclude on the agenda tonight, the personnel agenda tonight. There's a recommendation, transfer actually, for the current MHK Assistant Principal, Katie Minto, for her to be transferred to the Assistant Principal position at Perry Drew School. Katie applied, among others, for the position, and after engaging in the interview process, she definitely emerged as the final candidate and a good fit to kind of carry on the leadership at Perry Drew. So subsequent to tonight's approval, we'll be posting Katie's position at MHK tomorrow. A couple of reminders, our student representatives did talk about back to school night. So I'll just provide a reminder. This was shared with our school community, both globally, but also from each school. And I'll just kind of outline them based on order of kind of when they will occur. So we have tomorrow evening, September 11th, beginning at 5:30 at the Walter C. Black School. September 12th, Hightstown High School, beginning at 6:30. September 17th, Ethel McKnight School, beginning at 5:30. And then the following day, September 18th, Grace and Rogers will have their back to school night beginning at 6:30. September 19th, the following day, Melvin H. Krebs Middle School will have its back to school night beginning at 6:30. And the last back to school night will take place on September 25th at the Perry Drew School beginning at 6:30. So this concludes my report, and thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions? If not, we'll move on. First opportunity for board member comments. Are there any board members who have any comments?
I just wanted to welcome our new student representatives, Sahana and Sanjeet. So great to have you here and meet you again, and have a great year. I wanted to welcome everyone back. I trust that the first few days were exciting, and I hope everyone has an awesome year. And since Mark mentioned our bus drivers, I wanted to say the buses have been on time, coming and going every single day since day one, which hasn't happened in a while, so that's fantastic. So great job, everybody. That's it.
Anyone else?
I was asked by the lawyer per request of our board president, Nicole, to clarify a concern for the record. At the August 5th board meeting, when asking our business administrator about a transfer report, I unintentionally used the incorrect wording of misappropriation of funds. I was not implying fraudulent behavior, but rather wanted to ask about the transfer of money from one school account to an unrelated other. So again, I'm stating for the record, I was not implying wrongdoing on the part of our BA. I have said before and admitted that finance is not my wheelhouse, and the reason why I ask so many questions pertaining to the financials of the districts is to try to understand this aspect of the board for taxpayer accountability. But I would also like to clarify for the record that we're expected to send our meeting questions ahead of time, and I referred back to my inbox and sent that exact worded question in an email to Nicole, Tina, Mark, and Paul. Paul even mentioned at that August 5th meeting, he saw my question in the email the night before the meeting, yet not one of you addressed or corrected my wording of the question prior when you knew I was going to be asking it that way. So therefore, I'm asking you, if I take the time to prepare these questions and send to you ahead of time, it would be much appreciated if you would address them prior if my wording is inaccurate or a concern of yours. But again, for the record, in no way did I mean there was fraudulent behavior going on. It was a miswording on my part.
Thank you for that clarification.
You're welcome.
Are there any other board member comments? If there's none, we'll move on. First opportunity for public comment. Are there any members of the public who have anything they'd like to share? Okay, if there's none, we will move to executive session, and we'll be back to vote on items. Thanks. Okay, we're back in session. Item 7, old business. Just the committee meeting dates. Just to clarify for everyone, I know at the last meeting we were rescheduling, we were going to reschedule the finance committee, but we did, due to schedules, we did have a finance committee meeting tonight. And we can report out on that in second opportunity for board member comments.
I'm going to pose a question on the committees. I was exploring to reschedule the August 26th policy committee meeting. But I'm trying to make sure that everyone is available. So I'm going to ask this question. If I pick a day that is not a board meeting day, does that work for the group? Okay, so I'll reach back out this week, okay?
Moving on for item 8, second opportunity for board member comments. Are there any board members?
I just wanted to bring up again the conversation we started in executive session, asking Mark if we could revisit the 2018 security audit and our security protocols in light of the recent shooting in Georgia.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Could we put that under old business for the next meeting, please?
Yeah, you know what we'll do prior to the next meeting, I'll have Paul share with the board the audit recommendations and then kind of where we were in the process of adhering to them, okay?
Thank you. Are there any other board members?
Are we going elsewhere?
No, you got a report on the,
Or any update on the board retreat, finding a date?
I was just gonna talk about that, but all the little red lights were on. I'll wait, or do you wanna, okay. So based on the schedule, based on my schedule, I am now looking, and the fact that no one's still gotten back to me, I think I'm going to proactively just pick a date and somewhere the week of November 11th. It's not a board meeting week. I was gonna do it sooner, but then we have that whole week of November off because of religious holidays and teachers and voting and all of that. So I just think it's getting away, and we won't be able to plan in time, and I want this to be productive. So I'm gonna throw out a couple of days that week, send it in an email, and everyone can get back to me, and if it's all over the place, I'll just pick one and hopefully everyone can make it. Right now, I do have the committee structure discussion. We can do that, and I'll go over the schedules, and then I have some other ideas of things we can accomplish or talk about then. But again, I'll ask for suggestions so that everyone's needs are met, and we're just gonna get this thing planned and go for it. So that week, we're gonna do it. Thanks.
So before this meeting, the finance committee met. There were 3 main things that we talked about at that meeting. The first one would be one of the largest co-op purchasers that we work with. They have their master agenda. There's no action that we need. It's just more so information on how they operate. So one of 2 co-op purchases that we have coming up are for electric buses and the electric charging stations to go with those buses. We have 2 buses that we will be purchasing. That will happen in 2 weeks, whether the budget goes through from the state for it, whether the state grant will be approved. So it's $400,000 per electric bus compared to $300,000 for a regular type bus. So the state grant will pay for the difference between the buses, and so we'll find out in 2 weeks, and we'll be the first in line for those 4 buses if the budget passes. With that, the charging stations, that's on us. There's no grant that we could purchase those with. We would have 2 charging stations, 2 buses per station, and for both of those stations, it's $96,000. We would also need to install a transformer for those charging stations. The cost is unknown at this time. We have to put out a bid. So those would be the 3 parts of having these first 4 buses. The buses themselves, the charging stations, and the transformers. So that's part 1 of what we went over. Part 2 would be the 25-26 budget process. That starts October 1st, so very soon. In October and November, the departments are going to do internal discussions about what they want out of that budget. That stops at the end of November. In December, they'll have an internal administrative review, and then January, February, those budgetary wants come to us. The board will discuss what we think is good in there or to approve it. Of course, there's always state aid that comes into account. We don't know what that will be yet. The best is probably that will be flat funded. However, even if we lose state aid, we're in pretty good position for getting what we want or what we need out of a budget, and that's mainly due to the large facilities budget that we have. That would kind of be the first thing that we take from. It would be the facilities budget if we do need more money because the state doesn't give it to us. The last thing that we talked about is facilities. So we talked about the Rogers summer wrap up. The auditorium hair handling unit is about to be done. Is done. Will be done? Will be done. That's the one in the basement? All right, so in the basement of Rogers, there's this big air handling unit, and it's a tough job. It needs to be deconstructed, brought up 30 or 40 steps, and then a new one, which we have in our hands, needs to be broken down, put downstairs, and built there. So that's to come. The controls, that will be done by the end of the week. So that will allow for the rooms to be controlled from within the school rather than going on top of the roof and having to change it there. So that's great. The Rogers HVAC work will be done, and that includes extending from the classroom to the hallway. So even the hallways will be cool now. The locks, there are 20 or 25 classrooms with the wrong locks, so those just need to be switched out. Other than those 3 things, the punch list, so when everyone will go around the school and make sure detail by detail that everything that was supposed to be done at Rogers this summer was done, as well as can be. Next summer is starting the Hightstown HVAC. We put out $8 million. We have a ROD grant for $6 million. So that project will start next summer. The hundreds and 200s rooms, which is like where the old high school entrance is, and the upstairs will be done first. And the same thing at Rogers, the hallways will be cooled as well. We should have bid schedules for the high school auditorium soon. This will be the second phase. So as soon as this is done, it will look like the Krebs auditorium. The lights in the general seating are going to be redone. And there's also going to be bid schedules put out for 3 transformers. One is the electric buses that we already talked about, and then 2 would be at the high school, including 1 in the administrative wing. The Hightstown security vestibule is a work in progress. It's been deconstructed, that front office area. They're going to put a dividing wall in the office to separate from the entrance. So that's going to be built not during the school day, but after, maybe when there are some athletes or other after-school students still there, but it shouldn't disrupt everyday school. they need building permits and construction schedule for that work to continue. And new buildings and grounds facilities. So the White House, where the buildings and ground workers are, across in Hightstown near Rogers and Rogers and Black. Oh, thank you. That, as we discussed, is not going to be a building that we'll be using. So going forward, there is a different building in Hightstown that we hope to purchase so that we can move the employees there. And that's where the buildings and grounds, central registration, and kid care personnel would work out of. So that's to come, working with a realtor. We've seen the location. We saw pictures today. It looks nice. And the last item, sorry, I know this was a long one, but the last item is pre-K space. Of course, we've always, in recent years, have been having discussions about pre-K offerings, and the same realtor that we used for the new White House, it's the same realtor that's in talks about finding a pre-K space for us. And that's it. Any questions?
Awesome summary.
Are there any other board member comments? If not, we'll move on. Second opportunity for public comments. Are there any members of the public who have anything they'd like to share? There being none, we'll move to item 9.
Motion to approve routine items by exception. Having read the materials received, I move that the board approve the routine agenda items as submitted. A, staffing for September 9th, 2024. B, EWRSD salaries and longevity for 2022 to 2025. C, approved travel and related expenses, virtual and in person. D, approved 2024-2025 organization chart. E, approved curriculum documents. F, professional services for students. G, out-of-district placement. H, approval of professional services for 2024 to 2025 school year, continued. I, ESC, and J, master collaboration service agreement. J, co-op purchases. K, board minutes for August 5th, 2024. L, executive session board minutes for August 5th, 2024. M, board minutes for August 26, 2024, N, executive session board minutes for August 26, 2024, O, report of the board secretary and financial report for July 2024, P, expense and transfer reports of school monies report for July 2024, and Q, bill list of September 9th, 2024.
Second. Any questions?
Another question. I just want to point out from that finance committee, the ESC and J master agenda and the 2 co-op purchases are what are in this. So it's I and then the J.
Are there any questions?
I just had first a comment on the curriculum. Again, obviously a lot of work has gone into them, so kudos to the teachers who worked on them. Just a question on the math. There was formative and summative, is that the correct word? Summative. And in ELA and the others, I guess my question is, because homework was put in formative, which was said not in the grade book, but homework is now graded for completeness, right? Homework for math is graded for completeness in the portal now, right? Didn't we just approve that? Didn't we, right, just approve? Oh, in the curriculum, homework was put in formative, which says not in the grade portal. Well, in ELA, it was put in somewhere else. But I'm just saying, so just to be clear, homework will be graded for completeness this year in the portal. But it'll be in the portal, right? Because that's what the policy said, right?
Yes.
That we just approved? Right, okay. Because I know last year, homework wasn't going in the portal. There was no grade at all. Students weren't given a grade in math,
Points?
points. That it's, I'm sorry, that this year that
If you
we're.
frame it as a question.
Okay, are we grading homework for completeness in the portal? For math?
Points or are there checks, I understand, checks for that it's incomplete?
Points.
That I have to get back to because I'm not sure. I have to look at what their grading policy. Each department created a grading policy. That way can answer that question.
I think the question you want to know, will it be in the portal? Let's just say, for argument's sake, you get points for submitting your homework.
So the policy states students will receive credit for the completion versus accuracy.
Right,
Right, but it says credit is the other, like the check can also
Right.
be credit. That's what I'm saying. So I'm not gonna say, instead of have 1, 2, 3 points, a check will be credit also. That's why I'm trying to make sure that we're understanding the same thing.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be a point, like 1, 2 numerical, a check is also.
what does a check stand, like, what
Right,
does a check count
what do
for?
we consider credit? Like if I'm getting credit in my class, it's something, like I'm, yeah, that's fine. Yep. And then the course guides will be, I know because we approved some curriculum, and I know my daughters, some of their teachers are saying, we can't give them out yet until they're board approved. So just concerned that we're gonna be moving forward in September without the students having their course guides.
Yeah, based on our last meeting, that's a pretty quick turnaround. Once the board
Okay.
approves the documents, the syllabus is pretty easy to transition.
Okay.
Are there any other questions?
Yes, I had. On the organizational chart, this thing is so confusing. The assistant athletic director doesn't directly report to the athletic director? The roles?
No. I mean, yes, there's an element of collaboration, but the way we have it currently constituted is that our current assistant athletic director is also a curriculum supervisor. So that's where it gets, there's a little gray there. That's why, so I'm kind of dotted lines connected to both of those. So I do provide guidance to and direct supervision to the athletic director, and it also enables me to provide some direct guidance to the assistant athletic director as well. So yes, are there circumstances where the athletic director will delegate? Certainly. But the athletic director is not evaluating the assistant athletic director in our current configuration because he's technically a curriculum supervisor who's also the assistant athletic director versus like being the versus being the assistant athletic director who also happens to be a curriculum supervisor.
Got it. It's
That's
okay.
It's a little nuanced, but I think we've got a working rhythm in terms of how we know the roles and responsibilities.
And one other question, Paul, which I'm going to try to do clearly and correctly. On this expense account adjustment sheet, I'm so confused as to why, like on the second line, why high school supplies for football goes to the volleyball, or the next line when the football account is paying the cross country and the girls cross country.
Right, so actually, our high school athletic budget is very detailed per lines. There's a lot of schools that'll just say athletic supplies, $100,000, and then they just cut purchase orders, and then someone has an Excel sheet and they keep track of it. Here, they actually build that into the detail of Systems 3000. So from time to time, there may be a need for money in one sport over another, so they just transfer money in between the sports. So that's what you're seeing, money coming out of one sport and going into another.
Okay, that makes sense. But why, like this, I just don't understand. Like, let's just say the girls' soccer has 6,000 in their account, and the boys' soccer had 14,700 in their account. But then we took 1,000 from the girls' soccer and gave it to the boys' soccer. But there's already, like, I'm so confused because there was already 14,700 in the boys. So why did we need to take that from the girls?
I mean, as far as the specific transfers, I'd have to go back to the AD to find out why they're moving money around. But I can just tell you generally, there's a need from one sport to another. And sometimes it's uniforms, they're on different uniform replenishment cycles. So I wouldn't say just because it's a similar sport, the numbers would be similar.
So maybe it's also because the bill didn't come out of that yet? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so because the boys already has 14,700 in there, and they're taking 1,000 from the girls' soccer and giving them 1,000.
Right. So let's say, this particular year, and I'm not sure, but let's just use us for example. So say this year the boys soccer, their uniforms are due to be renewed and buy new ones, because they go about 3 or 4 years before they get uniforms. So maybe the bill came in and it was going to be a little more than they budgeted for. So they just thought that they had some money in the girls' soccer line that they would transfer over to do that. And like I said, in most school districts, not most, but in some school districts, you wouldn't even be seeing those lines because it's buried in someone's Excel spreadsheet and they're just moving money around. The high school here just finds it easier, and I kind of like it, where they actually put that in systems and track it that way.
Exactly. So I guess what I'm saying is, so even though I'm seeing they have a large amount of money in the account, he may already know that he's going to be 1,000 short. Like, the bill wasn't paid yet.
Well, he may have a quote in his hand, and he knows he doesn't have, because what happens is if, you have a quote and you don't have enough money in the line, the system will not allow you to put in a purchase order. So to do a purchase order, you have to do a transfer first, and
Even
that's
though
how
it
you don't,
okay.
and that's how you don't get in trouble.
Got it. Thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate that explanation.
Yes.
Are there any other questions?
Yes, on 9K, so the August 5th agenda, meeting minutes, so on 9K, in those minutes, 9E, but my vote was a no, so if that could be changed in the minutes.
Yes, we'll go back and make that correction.
Thank you.
Any other questions? If not, poll the board, please.
Ms. Drake?
Yes.
Ms. Lance?
Yes, abstain from L.
Ms. Murphy?
Yes, abstain from A, B, and M. And M and N.
M and N.
I said A, B, and then M as well as N.
Thank you. Mr. Weeks?
Yes, abstain from M and N. I was not